what causes us to lift light loads really fast? Like, what's the underpinning principles of that? Well, researchers actually sought out to solve this problem, and the way you solve it is pretty easy. You can go and test how strong you are, your maximal strength. You say, okay, in a leg extension, how much weight can you possibly lift? What's the heaviest amount of weight you can lift? And then you can measure how much force you produce at different percentages of that weight. So if I can lift 100 pounds, I want to see how much force I can lift, or how much force I can produce at 60 pounds, so 60%, or maybe 40 pounds, so that's 40%. And if the weight I can lift at maximal load is the most important variable, then it will be directly correlated with all those other lighter loads. So if I gathered 100 people and I tested everyone, and I wanted to see who could lift the lightest weight fastest, if maximal strength was the determining factor, then the person who lifts the most amount of weight is going to be the same person who moves all those lighter loads faster. Make sense so far? But what they found out was that really wasn't the case. Some people who weren't as strong and couldn't lift as much maximal weight as someone else could actually lift some of those lighter weights faster. And what they found was a certain percentage of maximal force was kind of being utilized in these lighter loads. But only a percentage, which means other factors outside of how much strength you can possibly produce at the heaviest weight played a role. And they found out the lighter that weight was, the less of an influence the amount of weight you could lift maximally played a role. And this makes total sense. Let me give you an example. We are our little kid self again, and we are going to go swing a baseball bat, okay? When you first try to swing a baseball bat, you're just not really strong enough to swing it. And so it's so close to 100% of your 1 rep max that the main determining factor as to whether or not you can swing a baseball bat is simply if you can hold and lift that baseball bat. It's just so darn heavy. But as you get older, you get stronger, and no longer is that bat so close to 100% of your maximum strength. It's way lighter. So then other factors begin to play a role. If he was just the strongest guy who could swing the bat the fastest, baseball training would be very simple. You just try and get people as strong as humanly possible. But there are other factors involved. That's why the strongest person isn't the person who can swing the baseball bat the fastest. As a matter of fact, that baseball bat gets lighter and lighter. It becomes less and less significantly determined by maximal strength. However, this does not mean maximal strength is useless. It obviously plays an important role. I just want to point out there are other factors beyond that. And some research has said maybe maximal strength explains like 40%, 30%, 50%, and certain movements even less than other movements. But it plays an important role. So don't downplay maximal strength, obviously, but don't just think it's the only thing that matters. Think about that.